Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank you everyone, especially to the students who are able to attend this online e-class organized by Digital Classroom Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. My name is Madam Nurfaiza binti Ahmad and I am a biology lecturer for Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. Today, I have a colleague of mine, Madam Lim, who is also a biology lecturer for Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan, who will be teaching about our last topic in matriculation biology syllabus, which is immunity. Okay, so she will be explaining about our subtopic 11.2, that is explaining humoral immune response and cell-mediated immune response. Without further delay, I would like to welcome Madam Lim. Welcome Madam Lim to deliver her class. Madam Lim.
Okay, thank you, Puan Faiza. All right, I'm going to share my screen first. See my screen?
Not yet, Lim.
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Still not yet, Lim.
I can see your screen.
Okay, nice.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. I am Madam Lim from Unit Biology. So today I'm going to share with you Chapter 11, Immunity, which I think that maybe some of your lecturer is not able to catch up with you this chapter because of the MCO in our last week of PNP. So I'm going to focus on this 11.2, development of immunity, where most of the students get confused about this humoral and cell-mediated response, okay, which is under this learning outcome. All right, so based on the types of immunity, we have two types of immunity. First one is known as innate immunity, which is inborn immunity. Okay, this innate immunity acts as our first and second line of defense. Example, it's like our skin, natural killer cell, even your saliva, your eye tears, okay, they are under innate immunity. So this first and second line of immune response act as very rapid response towards any antigen which trying to enter your body. However, after the first and second line immune response fail to stop the invasion of the antigen, we still have the adaptive immunity, which is the second type. This acts as our third line of response, which involve B cell and also T cell, okay, which is a very slow response. We can say that innate immunity is non-specific. Innate immunity is non-specific. Why we say that it is non-specific? Because they do not recognize which type of antigen trying to enter your body. They just kill or destroy whatever antigen that they meet. Okay, example, macrophage is one of them. While adaptive immunity is more specific, okay, they usually involve memory. Okay, so now we look at the specific immune response system, which we further divide into two. Humoral immune response, which involve B cell and able to produce antibody that circulate the antibody in our body fluids. So body fluids is also known as humor. That's why it's known as humoral immune response. The second type of specific immune response is known as cell-mediated immune response, which involve the activation of the cytotoxic T cell, which used to destroy our infected body cell. Okay, they also attack non-self cancer, and also transplant organ or transplant cell. Both of these cell-mediated and humoral immune response, they involve helper T cell. So helper T cell is the major cell, the most important cell which used to trigger or start with our humoral and cell-mediated immune response.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes? Yeah, okay, so I continue. So no matter it is humoral immune response or cell-mediated immune response, they also must involve the helper T cell, which responds to our antigen-presenting cell. Yeah, Puan Faiza,
Okay,
I
Miss
can
Lee, Mendeling,
I can hear my voice over there.
are you okay?
Yeah, can I continue?
Yeah, can continue. Okay.
Okay. Maybe Puan Faiza, you off your mic for a while. Okay, so I continue here. So
Right.
these are the explanation of about our helper T cell and the relationship with the antigen presenting cell. Okay, so here saying that APC or the antigen presenting cell, they interact with our helper T cell. So APC can include macrophage, dendritic cell, or some B cell. So this APC, they will tell the immune system via helper T cell that a foreign antigen is in the body. So in the interaction between APC and helper T cell, class 2 MHC molecule produced by APC bind to the fragment of foreign antigen. Okay, so this might sound very complicated to you. Okay, you can look at the diagram here. So these are the APC antigen presenting cell. So they will display the antigen fragment via MHC class 2 on the surface. Through this, helper T cell will be called up to bind with the APC by using the T cell receptor and co-stimulate by CD4. So to simplify the explanation here, I will use an analogy to explain about this. Okay, so you can imagine that, okay, this is the guy, the bad guy, which is representing the antigen. Okay, so he's saying that, hi, I'm antigen. I'm here to attack your body. So please recognize the face here. This is antigen. And this is the policeman, which is macrophage. So I'm here to protect your body from any intruder, no matter who they are. So remember just now I've introduced to you, this macrophage is under non-specific. Okay, they are innate. So macrophage, they are like the police in your body. So this macrophage will engulf or trying to phagocyte whatever intruder or antigen that trying to enter your body. And also we have the third character, which is the helper T cell, who is the superhero in your body. So I'm here to save the world or your body. Okay, so this helper T cell. So how are they interact? So one day you have virus, okay, konon the coronavirus entering your body. So this virus or the antigen detected by the policeman, okay, which is the macrophage. Oh, that is an intruder. So what will this macrophage do? This macrophage will quickly approach and say that I'm going to break you into fragments. So this macrophage undergo phagocytosis and break down this antigen into a fragment. So now this macrophage will display the antigen fragment on the MHC class 2 protein via the surface. So now this macrophage has turned itself to become antigen presenting cell. So it is presenting the antigen on the surface. Okay, so that's why we call it as antigen presenting cell. and they have this MHC class 2 on the surface. So this APC, now they will attract helper T cell to come and bind with it. So this helper T cell will attract and come to bind with this antigen fragment by using TCR, which is the T cell receptor. Okay, T cell receptor used to bind with this antigen fragment, which is held by this MHC class 2. So it is like the hand of this superhero holding the antigen fragment here. At the same time, another hand will act as the co-stimulator, which is the CD4. So this hand will hold another hand of this thief or the bad guy to ensure that this bad guy will not run away. Okay, so this is the whole picture of what we have learned just now. Okay, but this is still inactive. After the helper T cell bind to this antigen fragment by using the TCR and CD4, this helper T cell still cannot do anything yet until the APC release something to activate our helper T cell. So this something is a chemical substance which used to communicate between the between the lymphocyte. So this something you can imagine that is like a call, okay, a telephone call. So this policeman will call this superhero and tell the superhero what is it going on. So now this superhero will get the information by receiving the interleukin 1. So this policeman released the interleukin 1 to this superhero, and this helper T cell will be activated. Okay, so after the helper T cell receive the interleukin 1 and activated, it will be proliferate and differentiate. The meaning of proliferate means divide by mitosis and differentiate into other things else, okay, which is activated helper T cell and memory helper T cell. So activated helper T cell will continue the journey either to humoral immune response or cell-mediated immune response. For memory helper T cell, at this moment, this is just to store the memory. Okay, what kind of memory? The memory about this antigen. So that if the next time same antigen attack your body again, this memory helper T cell will be called up and do the corresponding work. All right. So about this, the diagram that we have seen just now, the APC, our class 2 molecule which hold our antigen fragment, helper T cell hold by T cell receptor and CD4, can imagine by using this diagram. Okay, the hand of the policeman is like the class 2 molecule. This bad guy, half portion, is like the antigen fragment. This superhero is our helper T cell with the hand T cell receptor and another hand the CD4. Okay, so this is our APC. After this structure has been formed, so now they either will trigger the humoral immune response or cell-mediated immune response. So how does the body knows which type of immune response they should trigger out? So it depends on the type of infection. So if the antigen is still floating in our body fluid without entering our body cell, now this body will trigger the humoral immune response because the virus or the bacteria or the antigen, they are still floating in our humor, which is our body fluid. So we will use this humoral immune response to attack. If the virus or the bacteria already enter our body cell, okay, already enter our body cell, now this body cell need to be destroyed by our body. So that's why the body will trigger cell-mediated immune response. Or when the cell become tumor cell, cancer cell, or even the transplanted organ, okay, it will be
it will be attacked by using the cell-mediated immune response. Okay, so now we will look into detail of humoral immune response. So this humoral immune response involves the B cell that secrete antibody into our body fluid, which is called the humors. All right. Okay, so this is the diagram which describe about humoral immune response. And these are the explanation about humoral immune response. Okay. So I'm going to explain by using the diagram also, the analogy. So just now the story stopped at helper T cell, which is already activated, okay, by receiving interleukin-1 from our APC. Now, this activated helper T cell, they will call also, okay, this call means they will release the interleukin, okay. So interleukin 2 now to activate the B cell. So this B cell is another superhero. So when the antigen enter the body engulfed by the macrophage, at the same time, this antigen also will be captured by our B cell. Okay, the B cell also have something like the antenna things on the surface, which used to bind with this antigen. But this B cell, they are still inactivate. They still do not do anything yet or cannot do anything yet because they haven't received the call from our helper T cell. So now this helper T cell, they will release the interleukin 2 to activate the B cell. So now when the B cell receive the call from this activated helper T cell, now the B cell can do something. So the B cell will quickly proliferate and differentiate. Okay, also divide by mitosis and differentiate to become plasma cell and also memory B cell. So again, memory B cell is for the next time same antigen attack. So now plasma cell will do the work. Okay, so how does the plasma cell encounter with the antigen? This plasma cell will release the weapon, okay, because she is a superhero, superwoman. So this plasma cell will release the weapon, which is antibody. So plasma cell release the antibody, and this antibody will use to attack our antigen. But bear in mind that antibody does not destroy the antigen directly. Okay, how does the antibody attack the antigen? You can refer to your topic 11.1, the three interaction between antibody and antigen. Okay, example, neutralization and opsonization. Okay, so now this moment, antibody will attack the antigen and the rest will be taken over by the interaction. So here is what about our humoral immune response. Okay, so far, am I too fast?
No, okay, Madeline.
Okay,
Very
so
good
I
your
yeah,
analogy. Congratulations.
okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm now to explain about another type, which is cell-mediated immune response. So cell-mediated, the meaning of cell-mediated means use cell to attack cell. Okay, use cell to attack cell. So the cell we mentioned here is cytotoxic T cell. Cytotoxic T cell is also known as a killer cell. Okay, a killer cell. So this killer cell will attack infected host cell, which is the body cell. So whenever our body cell is infected, okay, like I said just now, when the virus or bacteria already enter our body cell, so this body cell need to be destroyed before it trying to infect other body cell. Okay, so how does the cell use to attack the cell? So this is a diagram about cell-mediated immune response. So you will see the infected body cell here, and cytotoxic T cell will bind with it. So these are the explanation in words. And again, I'm going to explain by using the analogy. Okay, So now let's say this is our body cell. Okay, the woman is the body cell, your body cell, and it is attacked by this bad guy again, antigen. Okay, so multiple attack until your body cell infected. Okay, so now your body cell inside the body of this woman, it leaves the antigen, means the body cell is already infected. Okay, so now this infected body cell, they also display the antigen on the surface via MHC class 1. So the difference with our APC just now, APC they have MHC class 2. So the full name of MHC, I guess you should know, which is major histocompatibility complex, which used to differentiate self cell and non-self cell. Okay. So now this MHC class 1 is going to display on the surface of infected body cell about this antigen fragment. So now this also will attract another cell which come and bind. Okay, this time is cytotoxic T cell. Okay, cytotoxic T cell. So I use the same character, same face, but different costume because both of the red color guy and this black color guy is the same superhero, which is same T cell. Just now was helper T cell. Now this one is cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so now this cytotoxic T cell get notification that your body cell is infected via this antigen fragment on the surface. So now, same like the concept of APC, TC cell will bind by using the T cell receptor. Okay, T cell receptor bind with this antigen fragment. Another hand, which is a co-stimulation, now is using CD8, a kind of protein. For helper T cell, it is CD4, okay, the protein. Now this cytotoxic T cell is CD8. Okay. So remember just now our helper T cell is already activated, right? Okay. So now this activated helper T cell, it will release a kind of interleukin, okay, like a call. So this is interleukin 2, so that this cytotoxic T cell will be activated. Okay. So just now the cytotoxic T cell already bind to our infected body cell, but cytotoxic T cell still cannot do anything yet, just like our B cell just now. Until they receive the interleukin 2, then they will proliferate and differentiate. Okay, same concept. So multiply by mitosis and also differentiate to become activated cytotoxic T cell and memory cytotoxic T cell. So memory cytotoxic T cell for secondary immunity, which is the second attack. Okay. So now activated cytotoxic T cell, they will release a kind of protein called perforin and granzyme to our infected body cell. So now this infected body cell will receive the perforin from activated cytotoxic T cell. So perforin will make pores on our infected body cell like this. Okay, so you will see that the body cell, infected body cell, has pores on the surface. So when this cell membrane has pores, now the water and ion can enter this infected body cell, and eventually the granzyme released by the activated cytotoxic T cell will cause this infected body cell to die. Okay, so now this cell death, or we say apoptosis. So this infected body cell has been destroyed by our cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so that's the end from the explanation there. And I would like to show some example of the questions. Okay, so figure below shows an immune response. So with this B cell, okay, B cell, which produce the P, Q, and the R. and the T here release the U. Okay, so from the question here, even they didn't tell us what kind of immune response is this, but they show in the diagram this is B cell. So when it is B cell, the first question, type of this immune response, automatically we are able to answer this is humoral immune response. And the next question, what is S? So this S is from the pathogen itself. So this S will attack our B cell. So the answer would be antigen. Okay, it is just a general term used to describe. No matter it is virus, bacteria, or what kind of foreign substance, we only mention antigen will do. Okay, question C. After receiving information from the macrophage, T cell will secrete the U. What is U and state its function? So I hope you still remember the analogy just now. This T is our superhero helper T cell. Helper T cell call our B cell by using what? So this is the interleukin 2. So what is the function of interleukin 2? The answer is to activate our B cell to proliferate and differentiate into the P and Q. So if you know what is P and Q, you can directly answer P is our plasma cell, Q is our memory B cell. And the next question, they ask what is P and Q. So you have to know also. So since the Q produce the R, so R look like the Y-shaped structure, which is our antibody. So who released the antibody? Which is the plasma cell. So Q is plasma cell, means P is our memory B cell. Okay, example of second question. Figure below shows a partial of events in the immune response. So you can see a diagram of macrophage binds to a cell Q by using X, goes to cell R, which has the antenna structure on the surface, bind to antigen. So based on the diagram, you will know that this macrophage bind to cell Q. So the cell Q will be your helper T cell. Okay, only the helper T cell able to bind with this macrophage by this antigen fragment here. So the X here most probably refer to our T cell receptor, which is the hand of our superhero. And the cell R, how to know what cell R is? You can look at the surface. So this cell R has this antenna-like complex on the surface. So this cell R is most probably our B cell, okay, which bind to our antigen. So look at the question. First one, type of immune response. So if you know that this is B cell, so your answer this is humoral immune response. Okay. If cell-mediated, they shouldn't show you this antenna complex on the surface of the B cell. All right. Identify cell Q and R. So just now we have already answered. Cell Q is helper T cell. Cell R is the B cell. What is the characteristic of X for antigen binding to occur? So this X, just now we say that it's T cell receptor. So the characteristic is it must be specific to the shape of the antigen. So if it is not specific to the shape, it is unable to bind with this antigen. Okay, question D, explain how the cell Q activate the cell R. So helper T cell, how it activate the B cell? Almost the same question like just now. It will release the interleukin 2. And what is the effect of this question D to cell R? Means after it released the interleukin 2, how would it affect our B cell? So this interleukin 2 will cause our B cell to proliferate and differentiate into plasma cell and memory B cell. Okay. Question 3. Figure below shows the role of helper T cell in two types of immune response. So based on the diagram, pathogen engulfed by macrophage. Macrophage release the cytokine. Cytokine is the general name of the chemical substance. Okay. If in specific, it is known as interleukin 1. To activate helper T cell. So helper T cell go to the left, activated B cell B cell release the plasma cell, release the molecule Z. This is immune response X. And another way, cytotoxic T cell, activated cytotoxic T cell. This is immune response Y. So based on the diagram itself, we know that they will ask you about what is X and Y. So based on here, X involve the plasma cell. So this is our humoral immune response. Response Y involves cytotoxic T cell. This is our cell-mediated immune response. So the first question we have already answered. Question B, what is molecule Z? So plasma cells secrete molecule Z. So this answer is antibody. Question C, what will happen when activated cytotoxic T cell binds to infected cell? Okay. After cytotoxic T cell binds to infected cell, now they will release a kind of the perforin. Okay, perforin. So activated cytotoxic T cell will release the perforin to form pores on the infected cell membrane. Okay. Also, they will release the granzyme into the infected body cell, and they will induce the apoptosis, which lead to our cell death. Okay. And the fourth question, figure below shows an infected cell during the action of an immune response. So they didn't mention what kind of immune response, so you need to look into detail what kind of diagram they provide. So based on the diagram here, this cell, the surface doesn't look like our antenna, okay? And they have this E which bind with the antigen on the surface, and it attracts this cell with the F structure come and bind with it. So most probably it is the infected body cell bind with cytotoxic T cell. So if you are not sure, you can refer to the last diagram here. You see that this infected body cell apoptosis, okay, which is lysis. So you are confirmed that this is infected body cell pathway, which is cell-mediated immune response. Okay, so type of immune response is cell-mediated immune response. And they ask you to identify what is molecule E and protein F. So if this is infected body cell, what can be found on the surface of infected body cell? So this is our MHC class 1. Okay. Protein F. Protein F is from this cytotoxic T cell. So remember the hand of our superhero. So this is called CD8. Okay, CD8. If helper T cell, this is CD4. Okay, but helper T cell will not bind to infected body cell. So this is cytotoxic T cell, CD4. CD8. Explain briefly how pores are formed during the above process. So how the pores are formed? By a kind of protein, right? So this is the perforin. Who secrete this perforin? The activated cytotoxic T cell. So cytotoxic T cell bind to the infected body cell, and they will release perforin, create pores on the membrane of the infected body cell. Okay, so as a conclusion, okay, so conclusion, I would like to show you this diagram which conclude about both the humoral and cell-mediated immune response. So when antigen engulfed by macrophage, it will stimulate helper T cell by interleukin-1. Then helper T cell activated, proliferate and differentiate to form memory helper T cell, and stimulate B cell or stimulate cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so B cell will proliferate and differentiate to form plasma cell and memory B cell. Cytotoxic T cell proliferate and differentiate into activated cytotoxic T cell and memory cytotoxic T cell. So this pathway is about second exposure of the same antigen. Okay, so this is for secondary immune response. So for secondary immune response, we know that it is faster response compared to primary immune response. Basically, it's because secondary immune response, they just need to go through this pathway. Okay, they directly infect our memory helper T cell. So memory helper T cell will quickly do their work. So they no need to go through the same procedure from macrophage again. Okay. All right. So thank you. This is all from me. And I would like to remind all of you who stay at home, wash your hands, okay? Cover your nose and mouth. Avoid close contact with people who are unwell. And most importantly, stay at home. Self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell. So I hope that everyone can stay healthy and we can see you again during the PSGM. Okay? Don't touch your eyes and nose or mouth if your hands are not clean. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you. Yeah, Puan Faiza.
Okay, Madam Lim. Thank you so much, Madam Lim, for
Yeah,
the
welcome.
detailed explanation of humoral immune response and also the cell-mediated immune response. First of all, I would like to congratulate Madam Lim because as a biology lecturer, I'm really love the analogy that have been used by Madam Lim using a policeman and also a superhero to understand the concept of APC, as well as using the power girl or the superwoman to understand the concept of humoral immunity better. And another one thing that I also impressed is about using the same superhero but in the different costume. I really enjoy that. Okay,
Thank
hopefully
you.
it will help our students remember better and understand this subtopic better. Thank you, Madeline, and also
Welcome.
thank you for sharing the ways to tackle a few past year's questions and also sharing how to answer the questions regarding this subtopic. And we do hope, okay, the students are able to understand this subtopic better. Okay, Madam Lim, I think once again, on behalf of Digital Classroom Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan, I would like to say thank you to Madam Lim for joining us today,
Yeah.
and also for the students. Okay, thank you for your attention about this subtopic. Okay, and Madam Lim, if, do you have any last word to say?
Uh, I think that's all. And hopefully everyone stay healthy, stay at home, and MCO can pass as soon as possible.
Okay, hope so. Thank you, Madam Lee. And I think this session for this e-class today uh, until here. Okay,
Okay.
goodbye and assalamualaikum. And thank you. Tune in to the next e-class session. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.